From what we saw on our spider going and investigating the lava world a little bit more, and actually finding a good meal for once. Finding something that actually tastes nice in a place like this, if the lava and heat weren't an issue, I think she's found a new home. But of course the world doesn't only revolve around her, there are other characters going on, with their own mindsets. And it left off with the big brother of the main hero. Is anything going to happen to him? Obviously, I know. But if you are watching this for the first time, I don't want to give too much away. But what skills are going to be picked up now? Which titles are going to be acquired? To find out, let's watch. I feel like he's laying on the compliments there a little too strong. I don't think I'd have the same kind words for my brothers. Hard cut to disaster. Almost right. I haven't really seen deer so angry. Actually getting some scale to see how big the monsters are in comparison to humans right now is quite nice. We saw it before when they were stealing the egg, but there are tens of thousands of spiders in this labyrinth. But seriously, in a big labyrinth type dungeon, if you're sent in for a specific prey or quarry, how do you know you got the right one? I mean, you might get the the voice of God skill system thing telling you, oh, you've completed the quest. If quests are a thing in this, not just the skills and leveling up. And no one so far, granted they've kind of been growing up for 15 years in this world, have said anything about trying to get back. What's with that lava drip right there? If you had a skill like detection, even if it did cause intense headaches, you'd try to find a way to be able to at least make use of it. Of course she'd see herself like this. Her imagination is one thing to go by. As long as she doesn't actually start believing that she is a ninja or anything like that. That would be a lot to read about in the face of danger like this. It is nice that none of the monsters on these floors should really have much of a poison resistance. Trying to see the present and the near future simultaneously, I'd get eye strained far too quickly. And if there's another creature that can also use the same status and analyze, there might be an issue. Leveling up rather quickly. A lot of monsters and bosses and the like do have quite telegraphed attacks. Not quite the same as literally seeing it happen in the future. Seriously? Do you have the time to do this? So they don't burst into flames straight away. I wouldn't really want to be clinging to the ceiling like that over the pool of molten rock. And I suppose the monsters themselves don't really have a sense of having to conserve NP. Yep, if you get hit, you're going to take a beating quite quickly. Just having an overwhelming amount of stats would be very, very useful. But the ability and intelligence to synergize it with your skills, that's how you survive. Yep. You might want to at least make sure that it's dead. Venom, 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 venom. It might be best if she comes up with a new way to attack, just in case there are some creatures that are immune. That's quite the leap. Reborn. I don't know exactly why, but the cracking around the eye there, and then it just was quite well done. You might not want to do it while taking fire damage. That's a maniacal laugh. Not in exactly number one. You might be getting ahead of yourself. So you want to build a little bit of shelter or something first? Yeah, it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt to at least have a look. Stealth capacity. Staying out of trouble. Okay. Decision made. And actually, rather simply. Who are you putting on a show for? You're actually putting on a show. It's like a... I'm not sure it's done in front of a live studio audience. If anyone was just watching the spider do it, it's like if some adventurers had come down here and just watching the spider do it, what do you think they'd think? Can't figure out what it is. Why would a giant eel creature creak? Quite a design change. There aren't really mirrors to check it out. And the black and white design is quite good, at least in comparison to the majority of the red in this level. I'm not sure removing my fingers and replacing them with scythes would be all too useful, but hey, I'm not running around a dungeon. And your marks out of 10? Quite nice, apparently. If there are any more left. I can see some nice ones in there. And one slightly concerning one. Taboo. I'm sure it's fine. Nothing bad can ever happen. There's only one way to find out. Yep. Kind of understand why there's intense headaches now. Seeing the world in wireframe. Some would think that this world isn't that balanced. I am you. And thou art I. Well, it could be a sign of mental illness, or useful skills. I don't think I'd want to talk to myself. Don't really need to hear any more of my failings in life. I mean, there's still one mind, so yes, of course they're going to be... They have their fates intertwined, as it were. Why is the UI just spinning in place rather than rotating with the spider? So the amazing brother is slightly afraid of his perceptive and quite strong brother, I'm guessing. Were they the centipedes that the spider was running away from last time, or is it the wall bugs? I can't remember. Excuse me? Great, just an enemy you want to come across. A random encounter has transpired. I can't remember what the timelines are like or where they all intersects. But the fact that they were scared of the Greater Terror attacks by themselves... But it is a spider. I'm not sure I'd charge straight at a spider's ass. Ew. Can't he leave some of them for his teammates? It's ever so slightly hard to keep with the flow of the battle, but for the most part it's fine. An incredibly high-spec, scary spider who you can actually hear its voice and can use magic. Don't turn your back. I thought he was meant to be a good fighter. So you want to find a way to subdue it slightly. Yeah, good way of taking the initiative there. Ugh. Pop. What did the spider just shake in fear from? I can't remember at all. Kind of forced, but okay. I mean, yeah, you've just won a tough battle and you've defeated your quarry, but... I wouldn't really let my guard down until I'm back at camp. Is this event and the previous connected? The Great Labyrinth, a Nightmare Vestige, the Hero, and the Demon Lord. What is this, some sort of isekai fantasy show? Most of the battles so far have been a case of run, jump, evade. But now with the addition of actually having sword arms, it should be slightly easier. And now that she has another voice in her, well, a voice in her head other than her own, but it is her own, are they going to fight over which is the original? It's nice that he reveres his brother so much, but should he betray his expectations? It's such a shame to butt into the conversation, but... just ignore him. Because you've got the personality of a... well, I can't think of anything quite as low as to describe him to. It's not your world, though. I feel as though he severely overestimates his abilities. But anyone who thinks that I'm the protagonist of this story, and anyone that shows an inkling of ability or skill that is larger than his own deserves to get written out. Yeah, he's a bundle of neuroses, isn't he? Must be real fun at parties. And it's not really all too subtle. You've got the priest girl who's obsessed with the holy religion, the kind but kind of naive hero character, his retinue of followers, and the rival. If you could categorize people in reality like that, life might be slightly easier. Not better, but easier. And they added a few little things in this one, didn't they? The Nightmare Vestige itself, and you're like, what's going on here? We've just seen our spider obtain that form. Is she that Vestige? Who's the Demon Lord? Where do they come from? Oh, of course there's going to be a Demon Lord, but what is their role in the labyrinth and the fights that the hero plays in? And of course the ever-growing list of skills that I'm sure if I had, I would remember about 5% of them, and the rest, unless they're passive, will never get used. But if you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, then join on to the channel. And if you leave a like and a comment down below, it helps me out knowing that you actually want to see more Spider, and despite its kind of obvious flaws, it's still a good watch. But now, once again, make yourself a coiled eel home. Whether or not you're going to evolve, I'll see you in the next one. I need to take a minute to thank my patrons, because they are the ever-increasing taboo to the character list that is my channel. So to Sal, Raywin, Electricant, Denimate1997, Shiwan, Jennifer Rojas, Mecha, Stinsfire, Big Boy, Dark Show, 7899 and everyone else, I really appreciate everything you've done. If you want to leave your mark on my skill sheet, then head over onto Patreon and have a look around.